good, Black people? What's good, non-Black people? It's time for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. How's everybody feeling out there tonight? Hey, party people, let me hear you make some noise. Love to see a good crowd in the building. It's like I haven't even looked to see if we have a good crowd in the building. It may just be me and Will in here for all I know. But hopefully we got a couple other folks in here rocking steady with your crew. We appreciate that. A crew of one or a crew of two, however y'all want to do. Thank y'all for making some time to kick it with your homegirl tonight. We've got a good program in store for y'all. Complaints about the police will be made. Complaints about Florida, not just Florida. But I have a story coming out of Florida that is really reflective of state GOP leadership in Republican dominated places across this country where, they don't give a fuck about the kids very clearly, right? So there is a new proposal. Who sent me this? Was this Infinite? You sent me this, my guy? New proposal coming out of the Florida legislature to lessen the work protections and some of the rules around child labor laws around teenagers working during the school year, before and after school, the amount of hours that the kids can work, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to get into that in just a little bit. A couple things, guys. So first of all, shout out to everyone that is in the path of this newly named tropical storm, Ophelia, here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. We are about to be getting ready for a little tropical storm, a little rain. Little rain never hurt nobody, hopefully. What else was I gonna say? Oh, it's gonna be first day of autumn tomorrow, which explains why I'm all sleepy and can't stay awake and shit. I cannot this is the onset of my seasonal blues, everybody. I get the seasonal affective disorder. I mean, I have not been formally diagnosed with such, but I know myself and I know how I feel when we transition out of summer. I don't ever like that shit. Not there's not been a year that I'm like, oh, thank God summer's over. Never in the history of ever. When summer comes to a close, I get sad. Oh Jesus! And then when we go into winter, I get doubly and triply sad because I'm allergic to cold. Please do not let my complexion fool you. My white ancestors do not be looking out for me when it comes to winter. Like I feel every degree of the cold, and I do not be appreciating that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I be feeling that. So anyway, and you know what? And I wanted to start off before I even get into my stories. I actually wanted to share something with you guys, something personal that is actually a little bit of a challenge for me. Okay. Now, this is not anything on the scale of my disability or anything like that. But earlier, okay. If y'all been here with me since we began Burn It Down with Kim Brown, these almost 3 years ago, you guys have been on my hair journey. Okay. So 4 years ago, I did my most recent big chop where I chopped my hair all off, had it shaved on the sides, had a little fade and everything. I loved it. Like I love short hair, like to the scalp short hair. I love being bald headed. Like it's a very freeing experience, ladies. Of all races. If you've never shaved your head in your life, you should actually consider it. Like you just feel like, oh, it's very nice, especially when you stand under the shower and the water just hits you right on top of your scalp. It's quite nice. But anyway, so I've been on this hair journey for the past 4 years, and we've been doing all right. Like if I were to straighten, y'all see me with my Miss Sealy shit on today, but I'm not as vain as I used to be, so I don't be giving a fuck. But anyway, so I'm on my Miss Silly shit today. But what I wanted to show y'all, I had a setback on my hair journey earlier this year. And I suffered, I don't even know if suffered is the right word, but maybe suffered is the right word. It's called tension alopecia, where okay, you see this, that's all that, but on this side I had some breakage, and then even worse, oh my god, I'm gonna show y'all this because it's made me feel bad, and I'm tired of feeling bad. So look at how short, see how short that is. Like I had a ginormous chunk of my hair break off. And this is not the first time that I've dealt with alopecia. I dealt with alopecia in my 20s when I was in college. What I suspect was a combination of stress and Depo-Provera, a form of birth control that they give to you in a shot in your arm. I had a legit bald spot underneath all my creamy crackedness underneath all my relaxed hair. I had this big bald spot. It was very detrimental to my sense of self-esteem. And this recent breakage of this year I felt very embarrassed about it. Like I'm kind of ashamed. Like I haven't been to the hair salon since May, and I kind of don't want to go because I know my hairdresser is going to be like, the fuck happened here? It's like, because seriously, if I straighten my hair is long, like it's past my shoulders, except for for these little beady beads up here that broke off. So I just wanted to share that because I'm certain there is somebody out in the Fire Fam or in the BIDWKB viewing audience who may be dealing with something, that you might feel is superficial. And I guess in some instance it is superficial, but it can not make you feel the greatest about your looks or your presentation or whatever. So I'm here to tell y'all that Kim is dealing with the shit too. Tension alopecia. That's why, even though I think Will Smith is a coon, I appreciated him smacking the shit out of Chris Rock behind making fun of Jada Pinkett's hair in front of a national and mostly white audience there at the Oscars. I said, smack the shit out that motherfucker. Because he don't know what these alopecia struggles be like. You know what I'm saying? And for a goofy ass nigga like Chris Rock to bring all the attention to Jada's hair, for what? Anyway, but I think Will Smith is a coon otherwise, but he de-cooned for a night. When was slapping niggas behind talking shit about his wife. So anyway, shout out to everybody who's ever dealt with some alopecia or some hair loss or, it's not fun. But we will get over it and we will try to grow the thing back. I'll keep y'all posted, I suppose, on my regrowth journey. But it's not a little chunk of hair. Like that's the thing that makes me very sad. Like I probably lost several inches of hair back there. It's not a little chunk. So anyway, let me do my shout outs. First of all, let me shout out to Craig S. Craig S is a new patron. Thank you so much, Craig S. Let me shout out to Patrick S. No relation to Craig, I don't think. Patrick S, thank you so much for your Cash App support. Thank you so much to Harmony for your Cash App support of the channel. If you want to support the channel and my hair regrowth journey, you can do that. See, and there go Renee. Have y'all seen Renee? And Renee is a lioness. Shout out to all the Leo ladies. Shout out to all the, everybody. Shout out to everybody. But you see how beautiful Renee hair is? I'm like, oh, nigga, my hair used to lay. It used to flow like Renee hair. Girl, my hair done broke off. I'm sad. Anyway, shout out to Renee. I see Renee in here. Who else is in here? What's up, Yipper? What's up, 40J Blaze? Who else the fuck is in here? God damn. Oh, is that Noli D? What's up, Noli D? Glad to see you in here. Who's that? Chichi Matcha. Thank you so much, Chichi Matcha, for coming true. Oh, there go Afra. Afra, are you what? Hold on. God damn, I can't read. If it down for the TLC. TLC, I've been putting shit in my hair. But part of the reason, not only the tension alopecia, I think broke my hair off, but one of my favorite hairline products that I was using, I don't even want to put them on blast because I still like the products, I like the brand, but they released a special quote African blend brand, right? And let me tell y'all something: African American, especially Black women, put something that say African in the hair product name. that shit is going to get bought. That shit is going to get purchased. Oh, Africa's Miracle. Oh, we going to buy that. African Pride. Oh, we buying that. So the hair care product line that I was using came out with a sub line that was marketed as though this was African and with this African ingredient infused, and this African nation in which this ingredient was sourced from. These women have hair down to their waist, and I said, "Ooh, my goofy ass looking for length." I'm like, "Ooh, let me buy the whole fucking line." That shit broke all my color off. Y'all remember I used to have blonde hair. That shit broke my color off, and then I had the tension alopecia at my crown, y'all, at my crown. That shit has made me. I've been sad about that for months. I'm just deciding to open up and share my story, as it were. But anyway, like I actually have real problems out here, and hair is not one of them. But I did that. But anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that. Shirley, what's up, girl? Anybody ever? No, you know what? I'm not trying to be in y'all business tonight. I was gonna say anybody else ever dealt with alopecia? You know what? I'm gonna stay out y'all business tonight. That's all well and good. So yep. So thank everybody for coming on in here. I actually want to get us started. Don't forget to give the video a like, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Y'all, we are less than 100 subscribers away from 4K. Nigga, 4K. I know that sounds like it's little time in these YouTube streets, and it is. but we started from the bottom. Now we here. So we trying to move on up like the Jeffersons and shit. So thank you all so much for subscribing and for being here. Big up to my son Tyler Hackner in the building. Tyler, somebody had me watching Dr. Richie's channel. I heard Dr. Richie give you a shot. I said, look at Tyler. Tyler famous out here in these YouTube streets. I love it. What's up, Franny France? I love to see you guys. What's up, Latino Marine? KNS. Who is Latino Marine? Is that somebody else? That used to be somebody else under a different name. What's up, Holly? Is Wendy in here too? What's up, Donnie? Is Donnie in here? Anyway, I'm glad to see y'all in here. Peace Valley girls. Thank you so much for coming through. So let me go on and get started with this story. So this week in DC, it is the Congressional Black Caucus Legislative Conference, the CBC, as it's commonly known. And it is a bougie display. it is a display of black politicos, black elected officials, black business people, black celebrities. I think Quavo was down here talking on a panel at the CBC about gun violence. It's an opportunity for all the bougies and the aspirational bougies to mix and mingle together. And this year's theme pertained to defending democracy, right? Now, anytime black people talk about defending democracy, I just want to slap the shit out of them because it's like, in America, defending democracy for whomst? Whomst needs their democracy defended because niggas ain't never had democracy, even in the fake ways that we had democracy after the civil rights movement. And fuck, even before then, even during Reconstruction, when they fake let niggas vote for about 2 weeks. and then they said, nah, never mind. Psych. We taking that shit back. No. Y'all niggas better not show up here to register to vote because somebody getting hung, right? And that's real. So black people ain't never had democracy in America. So it's always comical and simultaneously frustrating to me when I hear black people talking about the erosion of democracy and look at democracy going away. Nigga, your black ass ain't never had democracy, not in the ways the whites have had it and enjoyed it. So let us stop with all the farcical nonsense. Mama, what is up? Hello? Hello? See, I have to answer when my mother calls because it's something might be wrong, right? Hope she meant anyway. I don't think she meant to call me. Does anybody else's boomer parents accidentally butt dial them on a regular basis? Raise your hand. So anyway, so when niggas talk about democracy, I always have to laugh and get mad at the same time because I'm like, nigga, please, y'all, your black ass ain't never had democracy. And this recent story coming out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, it was just another proof positive example that not only do black people not enjoy democracy in America, never have, never will, but it's another example of A, cops ain't shit, B, black cops absolutely ain't shit, and C, black people really have to go through extraordinary means in order to get some sort of modicum or justice under this quote democratic system. Will, if you could please pop up the NBC News article for me. So this week in Baton Rouge, um, a 47-year-old Black woman by the name of Ternell Brown filed a lawsuit. And in this lawsuit, Ternell alleges that as a part of a traffic stop, Ternell Brown, by the way, 47 years old, a grandmother, she was stopped by Baton Rouge police and was for a traffic stop, right? How many Black people specifically end up dying as a result of a traffic stop? But fortunately, Ternell lived. And let me give content warning and trigger warning for police brutality and police violence. But fortunately, in this specific instance, no one lost their life. Ms. Brown, no relation to my knowledge, was pulled over by Baton Rouge police. And when her vehicle was searched, they found legal prescription bottles, right? For medication that she was prescribed. So, what the Baton Rouge police officers did, they took her into custody behind this traffic stop, and they took her to an unmarked warehouse where Baton Rouge police routinely take quote suspects, detainees, people who are not necessarily under arrest. Some are, but some are not. And it's being described as a black site. As you see the headline here from NBCnews.com, Baton Rouge, Louisiana woman says that she was sexually humiliated by police in a torture warehouse. Per her attorney calls it a torture warehouse. We're going to see a package here in a moment. But let me describe briefly what Ternell experienced in this per NBC News. It says that when she was taken to this unmarked police location, which is just a nondescript warehouse, right? She was forced to prove that she was not hiding any drugs or contraband in her vagina and her rectum. Okay? In this article, it does not explicitly say how the police were able to achieve that goal to make sure that she was not hiding any contraband in her vagina or her rectum. But per the headline, you could see sexually humiliated definitely qualifies describing that action. And they held her there for 2 hours before finally letting her go without a charge. That sounds like sexual assault, does it not? And Ms. Brown's lawsuit is the second filed against the Baton Rouge Police Department. And in Ms. Brown's lawsuit, she names not only the city of Baton Rouge, the parish, she also names several officers who were involved in her sexual humiliation over her possessing legal prescription drugs being the operative word there. I'm sorry, democracy? What democracy we defending when motherfuckers get their vagina and rectum searched for some shit they are legally allowed to possess? But anyway, I'm sorry, let me get off topic. You can take that down, Will. Let's cue up that package coming up. So, Miss Brown's lawsuit is actually the second filed against the Baton Rouge police for taking people to this torture warehouse, this black site, this location that is not the police precinct where people are taken, questioned, I can only assume beaten, subjected to degrading strip searches like Ternell Brown had to endure. And this is not the first of this kind, but let's stick in Baton Rouge here for a second. So I want us to go to the package. This is the package. Hold on, let me pull up what is the news agency, because this was their version of an I-team investigation. And this is from WAFB TV. And we're going to hear from a very I hate to objectify the brother, but he is good looking. This attorney that we're going to hear from alleges that his client, Jeremy Lee, was also taken to this torture warehouse operated by the Baton Rouge Police Department. So let's take a look at the package, if we could, Will.
It's January 9th, early this year, and Baton Rouge police officers show up to a home on Cadillac Street looking for drugs and guns.
Come here, bro. Hey, come here, bro.
At some point, officers, including Troy Lawrence Jr., search a man, Jeremy Lee, who ends up on the ground. That's when Lawrence threatens to beat him if he keeps struggling.
Hey, I'm about to back the limit. Turn your camera on. Turn your camera on. Stop touching me. Stop. Man, I'll turn around. 100% on.
Police take Lee into custody and hours later drive him away in a BRPD unit. That's when one officer can be heard telling others over the radio where he's headed. Pay close attention to where he says he's going.
10-4, route to the Brave Cave.
That's the Brave Cave, a place we had never heard of until now. The next time we see Lee, he's being questioned inside the Brave Cave, a place that looks much like a warehouse.
First of all, state your name, first and last name.
Jeremy Lee.
Okay.
Body cam footage picks back up inside the Brave Cave where you can see Lee is grabbing his stomach. His attorney, Ryan Thompson, says you can even see a knot on Lee's forehead. He claims his client was beaten here while the cameras were off. The attorney says he gave us all the video he received after his subpoena to police. None of the video, though, shows an actual beating, and it's unclear whether any such video exists. Thompson calls it troubling.
In our view, it almost seems like they take people to what we consider a black site, an area where there's not many cameras, where people don't really know about it, and they can essentially hold you there until they decide what they want to do with you.
And so you believe that the sole purpose of taking your client to this room, to this site, this location, was to torture him?
I believe that he was taken to this room because there were no cameras in this room, and it was to actually beat my client. I believe that's what it was for.
Earlier today, we asked a BRPD spokesman about this secretive place called the Brave Cave. At first, he said he had never heard of the place and would look into it. Within the hour, he called back telling us there are cameras in that facility, and it's typically used by narcotics and street crimes officers for certain interrogations. Attorney Thompson says his client and others detained that night were all brought here. He says as soon as his client was taken inside the Brave Cave, Officer Troy Lawrence Jr. attacked him.
Witnesses that were outside of this garage, they could hear him screaming, and other officers who were there were saying, "You're up next, do you want some too?"
After Lee is questioned, he's taken to Parish Prison. The only problem, his injuries are so bad, the attorney tells me staff at the prison refuse to take him until he goes to the hospital to be treated. That's where, according to this medical record, he was found to have a fractured rib, chest pain, and abrasions to the head. Here is the only police report the attorney claims was written that night, a report prepared by Officer Troy Lawrence Jr. Thompson calls the report bogus, saying it paints a much different picture than what he believes really happened.
It's not very detailed at all. It's like, was anyone injured? No. Well, we know that not to be true because Jeremy Lee, my client, was taken to the hospital for injuries. So how can you say that there were no injuries, there was no need for any medical care when he was taken to the hospital?
This attorney says someone from BRPD needs to answer for what really happened inside the Brave Cave.
Have you all been able to ask police at all about this site, this warehouse where your client was taken?
They did say it is a substation, but there hasn't been any comments about this alleged black room, this site, this room, this garage where there are no cameras at. We did file an internal affairs complaint. They did reach back out to us and told us that they were aware of the complaint and that they will follow with us. I haven't heard anything since then.
By the way, that complaint was filed in January. Now in August, Thompson is filing this lawsuit alleging police misconduct and says he's hoping for more accountability. Above all, though, he wants Officer Troy Lawrence Jr. to be stripped of his badge, something he says should have happened long before now.
It makes me want to ask the question, what makes him so special? I don't know the answer to that, but if this officer is not stopped and taken off the street, he's going to kill someone.
Troy Lawrence Jr. has been the subject of a number of reports by the WAFBI team. In fact, he's currently on leave as Internal Affairs looks into this video showing him punching, pushing, and grabbing a man's hair while trying to force him into the back of a unit.
Stop! Look what he's doing! He's harassing this man and punching on him.
The officer's actions have also cost you money. The city settling one lawsuit after another tied to his behavior, including this one where he drug a woman from her car by her wrist. He's also faced internal complaints from his own fellow officers, including when he tried to fight one of his supervisors. When interviewed by Internal Affairs, that same supervisor said he did not feel comfortable working with Lawrence because he did not know what he was capable of.
It's no secret this is the son of a senior official at BRPD. Why has he not been terminated? Why does he get so many opportunities for remediation or for training when clearly at some point someone has to say that this isn't going to work out for him, he needs to be taken off the street?
It's worth noting his father is Troy Lawrence Sr., a BRPD deputy chief. That's why this attorney now questions what, if anything, will be done about this officer's behavior.
We hope there are some changes within the department that come forth from this, and we also hope that Troy Lawrence Jr. is individually held accountable himself. He needs to be fired.
And when we asked about video from the Brave Cave, we were told there are cameras and we should be able to request copies from that encounter. We did put in a request today, but now we're told we can't get it because it's part of a criminal case. Liz?
All right, Scotty.
Ooh, interesting reporting there, you guys. And yes, you heard correctly. Officers were taking detainees, as it were, people, residents of Baton Rouge, taking them to something called the Brave Cave. Now, Brave is an acronym for Baton Rouge Area Violence Elimination. This is a specialized unit within the police department. How much have we heard recently about specialized police units within the department themselves? Those motherfuckers who are supposed to be anti-violence are actually the ones bringing the fucking violence. Isn't that amazing? What was the cop's name? Troy Lawrence Jr.? Well, there has been some news surrounding him even since that piece has aired. Hold on, let me pull it up because and Will, you don't have this, by the way. I just got this together. But Officer Lawrence not only was fired from the Baton Rouge Police Department, he has now been charged with battery. He was issued a misdemeanor summons, I believe, in just this week, which is pretty interesting. And I have to say that the fact, yes, Troy Lawrence Jr., the former Baton Rouge Police Department officer. Now, I'm not sure if he was fired, if he actually was able to resign. I think he resigned. Let me walk that back. I do not believe this officer was fired. I think that he was able to submit his resignation, and his resignation was accepted by the police chief. But he has now been charged with battery, and this is according to a department spokesperson there in Baton Rouge. Now, there's a lot of interesting things about this, first of all. It is absolutely sickening and deplorable that people are treated this way, but this is the intention and the mission of policing as an institution here in the U.S. They are not here to uphold laws. They are not here to ensure public safety or even ensure the peace in communities. In fact, they will use violence, they will use harassment, intimidation. It doesn't matter if it's sexual violence, if it's physical violence, if it's psychological violence, the threat of violence. And I can only imagine if you found yourself in handcuffs at the arm of the Baton Rouge Police Department, and they taking you to a fucking unmarked warehouse for questioning. Surely you must think you're about to disappear. Right? Why aren't you taking me to the regular fucking police station? Why are we going to the precinct? We going where? To this blacked out building? Now, I watched a press conference with the Baton Rouge chief of police and the deputy chief of police, both of whom are black. Black cop, back cop. Stop shooting black people. We all got to drop. You don't even get paid a whole lot. Take your M16, put the pun lock. Both of these niggas got up there and said that, number one, they never heard of the Brave Cave. The chief of police got up there and told the media, he said, Brave Cave? I ain't never even heard of that. You ain't heard of it. He said he was aware of the existence of this warehouse. It's a warehouse owned by the city. He knew of its existence. He had never heard it referred to as the Brave Cave, right? That's a red flag because that tells me that your subordinate officers, but likely are doing some shit that either you don't know about or you don't want to know about, their chief of police. The other aspect about the Brave Cave, in this press conference that I watched, they claim that there are cameras available, as you just heard in the reporter's package there, that there are cameras there. And that particular warehouse is used almost exclusively by the narcotics unit and the anti-violence elimination unit. And it's like, well, why do these separate sites exist? And listen, the only reason they exist, just like regular, police here in the US and the military, right? CIA black sites, military black sites, wherever the fuck they doing to people down Guantanamo Bay. This is emblematic of how the United States, how America uses its imperialism to not only fuck with people abroad, black and brown people abroad, but in the neo-colonial way in which black people are subjected, mostly black people are subjected to separate treatment, right? Like, you can deny niggas constitutional rights. Black people don't have no goddamn constitutional rights in America. You can take people to places outside of the precinct, and not to say that even if they went to the precinct that they would be treated equitably, humanely, and adhering to their constitutional and civil rights, not even. But the fact that they want to take them to a whole separate spot that's off the books, basically, just tells me that the opportunity there at that particular location was always there for abuse, for torture. What Jeremy Lee endured, a fractured rib, a busted face. They wouldn't even accept him at the jail until they sent him to the hospital for treatment. And in the fucking incident report, the question was, the detainee injured? They said no. Is James in here? James, what was the name of the spot in Chicago? Hallman Square. Yes. Another black site, known black site, operated by the Chicago Police Department. I think whistleblowers or some sort of investigative journalism uncovered the existence of Hallman Square in Chicago, used by the Chicago police, where they were sexually abusing / humiliating people within their custody. They were denying people access to their attorneys. I even think they might have killed somebody up at that black side of Chicago. James, correct me if I have that mistaken. But it's like, more people need to be made aware, because I think that we have, not anybody that watches this show or anything like that, but there is too much blind faith given to police. The police are out here ultimately doing the right thing, that there's only a few bad apples and actors. And that's wrong. That is incorrect. That is the whole point of my series ongoing called Cops Ain't Shit. Because the cops ain't shit. Even the good cops ain't shit. You know why the quote unquote good cops ain't shit? Because the good cops will stand by while the bad cops is fucking up people. Ergo, therefore, making the good cops also themselves bad fucking cops. Because a good person would intervene when they see someone being abused. And if a quote good cop, I mean, how the fuck are we defining good? By just the ones not actively throwing punches and kicks and not sexually abusing people, but the ones who stand by a witness and don't say nothing and do nothing to intervene or intercede? I don't understand how that equates to good. Like, it doesn't. Like, nigga, you bad and terrible, just like the motherfucker who's actually putting hands on people. If you just a standby, a witness to abuse, and you don't do anything, well, that renders you bad also. And the problem is that the only way that some of these incidents are even coming to light is through lawsuits, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, and I maybe I should have looked this up, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm pretty sure the Baton Rouge Police Department has probably found itself under a consent decree from the Department of Justice at some point, yeah? If all the rest of these terrible ass police departments have been under consent decree, surely Baton Rouge has been under consent decree at some point, right? From the Department of Justice. And what does that actually really mean? Well, it doesn't really mean anything. It means that the feds come in, they do some investigations, they do some ride alongs, they write a report, they make recommendations, they may send a monitor out there every now and again to see if improvements is being made. And usually improvements are not being made, right? Ask the residents of Baltimore City. Baltimore has been under Baltimore police, that is, has been under consent decree. When would you say? I would say maybe 2016, 2017, Will, somewhere in there when the DOJ issued their report. This is coming after the murder of Freddie Gray, of course. And I assure you, policing in Baltimore has not fucking improved, right? So I don't even know what these DOJ consent decrees are really here for. I guess they're there just to simply document the shit. They don't improve it. They don't end it. They don't stop it. But this is every police department. Truly, under my playlist of Cops Ain't Shit, I guess my goal is to touch a police department in every single state in the union. Because there ain't one that's doing good out here. There's not one that is actually doing, well, I guess they are doing the policing. Let me rephrase. That are not truly serving a community in keeping people safe and not themselves inflicting violence and spreading violence and even doing worse things like running drugs, like the Baltimore Gun Trace Task Force, or running drugs and guns, right? Like most of these police departments are doing exactly that. I think I have a story in my Cops Ain't Shit playlist of the Columbus police in Ohio themselves pushing fentanyl, kilos of fentanyl, running with the cartels. Like cops as an institution, policing as an institution needs to go away. And there are ways in which public safety can be guaranteed and other ways that do not involve funding the police to the detriment of all other public services, right? But don't expect what our job, what our mandate is, and I take this quite seriously, and I try to execute this. I mean, Cops Ain't Shit ain't just some cute phraseology. It's a mantra. It's a mission. It's a direct, we need, our goal is to tell our people for real. No, cops ain't shit. Yes, even your cop fucking uncle ain't shit. Your cousin that's a cop, he ain't shit. She ain't shit. Ain't shit. Because the things that they have to tacitly endorse, either actively through their actions or passively through their silence, it is harm. Ultimately, it's violence against overwhelmingly innocent people or people who are not deserving of that, right? I mean, I'm here for violence against rapers, abusers, and sex offenders, but that's not what I end up seeing from the cops. I see them fucking up people at traffic stops. The fuck? If y'all gonna be whipping ass, can y'all whip the correct people's ass instead of making 47-year-old grandmothers open up the vaginas and the rectums because you found legal prescription pills on them? Like, what the fuck? And the senselessness, the nonsense that comes from the black bourgeoisie is that they are agreeing to all of this reformist bullshit, right? Oh, well, they just need body cameras. Oh, they just need better training. Oh, they need to be trained in de-escalation tactics. They know all this shit. The cops, that is. The cops know all this shit. They know hand-to-hand combat. They know all this fucking shit. They want to kill people. They want to tase people. They want to shoot people. They want to get out there and fuck people up. And you cannot train that away. That is not a training issue. That is you are hiring fucked up people issue. Let me tell y'all something real quick. So where I live in Prince George's County, Maryland, there was a story. There was a story on the news. Prince George's County is going to Puerto Rico to try to recruit cops. And apparently Prince George's County has recruiting efforts underway across the country. Tennessee, Texas, Florida. And the bullshit that the local news outlet here regurgitated is the PG County Police Department is looking for the best of the best. Are they? Where? In Texas? In Tennessee? I'm like, oh my God, they are down there trying to recruit some big fucking redneck ass crackers to come up here and fuck black people up. That's probably part of the recruiting pitch. Would you like to come fuck black people up? We got a job for you at the PG County Police Department. Nothing but niggas. As far as the eye can see, you could stop these niggas. You could stomp these niggas out. You want to take out all your racist aggression on black people? Come to Prince George's County. We've got a job for you. And we don't require overtime. Jesus Christ. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Craig Bardo, you see this shit? Yo, fuck the cops, abolish the police, and please dissuade any of your bougie aspirational friends and family and colleagues that the cops truly ain't shit. And if that you are, and again, I know that we talk about race and class. That's fine. Yes, I know the police occasionally make a mistake and fuck up white people. Yes, but they are fucking up niggas with way more pleasure, right? I think they take more pleasure out of beating up black and browns than they do of whites, right? But just let your bougie black people and brown people friends know that they are just a traffic stop away from some police fuckery. So they might not want to be such big cheerleaders for the cops lest they get mistaken for doing something wrong. And the police can mistake you for doing something wrong by you simply being black and existing. Let me take a break here real quick, everybody. Y'all come on in. Get your asses up in here. What's up, Tony? Or Tony? Ooh, did y'all hear that Tony is going back on tour for the first time in 25 years? I just want to know who's coming with me. Who's coming with me to go see Raphael, Dwayne? What was the other nigga name? Their cousin or their brother? I think it's should try to run the game on you just to show it my name of Dwayne. Woo! I'll be there for you and I will treat you just like a queen to give you fine thing. Ever have to worry about another in your place. Believe me when I say whatever you want. Boo! Anyway, I'm very excited about that. If Tony's coming to a city near you, I highly suggest that you go see them. I'm dating myself. I saw Tony like at a one-off performance. This is a long time ago. This is maybe this is like easily 15 years ago, I would guess. At Dream Nightclub. I don't even think Dream Nightclub exists no more, but they played Dream, and all these fucking bougie ass DMV niggas was faking. I couldn't believe it. When I say they was faking, what do I mean that by they was faking? Tony, Raphael, Dwayne, and the other nigga, they was on stage killing it. And everybody's just standing around, too fucking cool for school. Niggas act like they didn't know the words. Niggas act like they was more interested in the bar. I was so disappointed in DC. I said, look at this fucking bougie, disgraceful display. One of the greatest R&B acts of a generation. Y'all in here shamming on them. Faking on them. I couldn't believe them budgie niggas. So anyway, when I go to the Tony jaunt, I'm going up in the jaunt to party. I don't know what the rest of these niggas be doing. Renee, you know what I'm talking? Wait, what you say? We. You said you love what we Kim is doing the most. Is doing myself. Aww, that's kind, Renee. Listen. Renee, I'm so. I'm not old, but I'm the oldest I've ever been, right? I've never been 45. I have to be myself more now than ever, right? Let me tell y'all this. I'm not going to say who it was, but if you live in the mid-Atlantic, you know who this radio personality is. They're syndicated and they have a morning show. I'll leave it there. When I was younger, This person told me that I was too much of myself. They told me that I was myself too much. And that was another early indicator that, I don't know if the entertainment industry is for me per se, because if I can't be myself, then what the fuck am I here to do? Like not have a career. I'm talking about like if I can't be myself, why am I on the planet? Like what am I walking around Earth for if I can't be myself? Like I have to be myself. And what does myself entail? I'm a dickhead. Like I can be. It was funny. Like one of the morning shows after the morning show. See, Renee, you be logging off. You be jumping off too soon, girl, because we be chatting it up sometimes. I think it was me. It wasn't this week. It had to have been last week. So I think it was me, Kamau, and the ear doctor. And I was apologizing to the ear doctor because I had been like I was being a little bit of a dick to him. And I said, bro, I said, my bad. I said, I'm being a bit of an asshole to you, and I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I don't know why, but I said I'm aware of it. But Gira, I'm on the phone. I'm doing my show. Get your ass out of here. So I apologize to ear doctor for being an asshole. But then I said, listen, I said, all of us are assholes. I said, this is how I know I'm with my proper people. I ran it down. I said, me, ear doctor, Kamal, Kalonji, Jackie, Jared, dickheads, top to bottom. every single last one of us. We are well-intentioned assholes, right? Like I love that. I really do. Like I feel very much in the proper place when I'm with the Remix Morning Show people, especially because I'm like, everyone here is a dickhead. But we all want liberation and freedom, and we don't want people to suffer. So obviously we are nice assholes, but assholes nonetheless. Don't cross nail one of us because you will get cussed. We will cuss niggas, Imani Festo. Don't we be cussing niggas. What's up, Latif? Thank you so much for it's the truth. Y'all think I'm kidding. But y'all can see it though, right? I love it. I love it. Anyway, let me get on to the next whatever I'm doing here, to the next story. Thank you all so much. Of course, Bagheera came in and opened the damn office door. I hear the television blaring. Lord have mercy. Will, shoot me a text. Is the TV coming through on the microphone? And I know some might ask, well, Kim, why do you leave your television on if you know you're doing a show in here? Because Bagheera likes to watch TV. Bagheera likes to watch the television. So I leave the TV on for her. So, there's noise. The next story I want to get into, thank you guys so much, has to do with, no, I'm actually going to have to get up and close the store because I'm hearing Mario Lopez on Access Hollywood and I can't take it. Will, throw up something so I can scoop my ass back. Thank you so much, sir. What makes you think that I will try to run the game on you? Just to show us my name is Dwayne. Thank you, Wilbert. Thank you so much. Oh, there you go. DeSantis. Y'all nigga. DeSantis. Oh, that was the other reason I was thinking of the fucking Congressional Black Caucus. Because I said, these fucking niggas. Like, if I hear one more black bougie talk about Florida and how terrible Florida is for black people because DeSantis done and DeSantis said, and I said, dog, what makes DeSantis any different from Mike DeWine in Ohio? What makes DeSantis any fucking different than the rest of than fucking Greg Abbott in goddamn Texas? Like, you gotta miss me with that shit because black people are catching hell everywhere, not just in fucking Florida. What makes DeSantis different from Kathy Hochul up there in New York? You understand? Like, the absurdity and the silliness to me to single out Florida as exceptionally bad, like solely bad for black people. I'm like, you niggas is high. Black people are catching it every fucking where. So what? So yeah, DeSantis is a fascist. No shit. But is he a bigger fascist than the rest of these fucking crackers? Abbott and DeWine and the rest of them? No. No, he isn't. So we might as well run boycotts on every goddamn state in the union. because Florida is not exceptionally bad out here. I mean, it's bad, don't get me wrong, but it ain't no worse than the rest of these Republican controlled areas. So there is that. So anyway, let me get into my next story because some shit is cracking off in Florida though the story does pertain to Florida. This is not exclusively a Florida issue. So, as you guys see, if you could pop up that headline for me there, Wilbert. Florida's labor shortage is about to get real as oh whoops. Wait. I popped up the wrong article. So the labor shortage in Florida is a major problem. Why is the labor shortage in Florida so bad right now? Well, the labor shortage in Florida is bad because Ron DeSantis is openly hostile towards migrants. And on top of that, DeSantis is being aided by ICE, agencies like ICE. They have been rounding up undocumented workers from restaurants, from construction sites, and it's actually causing a chilling effect on a number of industries, including hospitality, construction, food service, etc. But now it's about to get worse because there is a new immigration law that is getting ready to take effect there in Florida, making things more difficult for people who are undocumented and the fear that people who are undocumented are going to get apprehended, round up, and put into and get put on buses and be sent up to Martha's Vineyard or be sent to Chicago or be sent to Philadelphia, New York, or here in Washington, D.C. We've had a number of those. And this is causing a major problem. Oh, as you see there in the headlines, for farm workers also, right? Farmers are decrying the harshness of these immigration laws set forth by DeSantis and the Florida GOP-controlled legislature because literally they don't have workers. They don't have people to plant. They do not have people to harvest. And this is being exasperated. Now, how do you get people to work? How do you get Americans to fill these jobs? Right? Because these migrant populations are being exploited. The ones that were able to work or are still working, they're being exploited by wage theft. They're not being properly compensated. They're being exploited by the conditions in which they are forced to work. I follow the United Farm Workers, UFW, which is a union that does a lot of work mainly on the West Coast that I see, but I think they do work all over. But they constantly document how migrant farm workers in particular, especially those who do harvest, are subjected to excruciating conditions outside. This summer we were dealing with record temperatures in a lot of places. A lot of times these people are not given proper water breaks, bathroom breaks, etc. I mean, it's slave labor minus the chains, right? And because of the hostility in places like Texas and Florida towards immigrant workers, migrant workers, these people are not coming to these states, right? I guess they're going other places. So what does Florida plan to do to replace that missing labor market? Well, they're going to do what America's always done. Will, if you could please cue up the package from WPTV. A member of the Florida legislature has proposed a bill that will be debated on starting January of 2024 to loosen the labor laws for children, for the kids. We've seen this happen already in places like Iowa, where the governor there signed a law saying that children, teenagers, 14, 15, 16-year-olds can work in meat packing plants. They can operate heavy machinery. They can do all the things that adults do, except they are kids. They are literally children. And this is happening in a number of GOP controlled states. And now Florida is next on the list. So let's take a look at that. What I thought was actually a pretty good package. Who is this? WPTV. Let's take a look.
I'm Forrest Saunders at the state capitol. Should Florida loosen its child labor laws? Well, the state representative says absolutely and is touting a bill to do just that, saying it's an opportunity, not just for young people, but employers as well. When it comes to loosening Florida's child labor laws, Ashley Bessison isn't a fan.
Sounds like you're a no on this idea.
I am a no on this idea.
The Florida mom has a 16-year-old already tight on time, working a job 20 hours a week on top of school. The thought of longer hours, not ideal, says Ashley.
Because they're going to have their whole life to do that. And that leaves little time for extracurricular activities, which is my child having a job is also keeping her from doing extracurricular activities because she can only choose one.
This is for here to go.
But there is a growing movement across the country to change state standards and allow 16 and 17-year-olds to work longer hours.
Here you go. Thank you.
Arkansas, Iowa, New Jersey, and New Hampshire all adopting similar ideas. Florida may now be next.
I believe the government needs to get out of people's way and allow them to make their own path to success.
State Rep Linda Cheney filed HB 49 this week. It removes current restrictions on 16 and 17-year-olds, letting them work before 6:30 a.m., after 11 p.m., and more than 30 hours a week, plus on days before class. The bill also allows 15-year-olds more hours and fewer restrictions during summer months or on holiday breaks. Cheney says it's a chance for kids to earn more cash in a tough economy and will help ease a labor shortage.
We're not rounding children up and putting them on assembly lines. This bill aligns us with the federal child labor laws and the same laws that are in other states, and all of our protections for hazardous work environments that prevent children from being those environments are still in place. This bill does nothing to endanger children. It just creates opportunity for young people.
There are early critics. State Rep Ana Escamani has called the idea, quote, gross.
I understand that we have workforce challenges. I think part of that's due to the anti-immigration policies of the Republican Party. But the solution to this crisis is not making our kids go to work at an earlier age for longer hours.
The Democrat also took issue with a portion at the bottom of the bill forbidding local governments from circumventing the policy. But session is still a long ways off, and bills seldom end up exactly as they started. While Cheney says she's ready to get to work and has positive feedback from colleagues,
let's just let them be kids a little bit longer.
Parents like Ashley will be waiting and watching to see what happens next. At last check, about 60 bills have been filed for the upcoming legislative session, and hundreds more expected. The gavel drops here in Tallahassee, January 9th of next year. That's the latest out here at the Capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.
Yeah, so the anti-immigration bill in Florida, what was this known as? It was SB 718. It was enacted into law, or it went into law July 1st of this year. Definitely impacting the available labor force in Florida, because it's targeting obviously migrant workers, and is very restrictive on employers in the ways that they can hire people, especially who are undocumented. And it is having an effect on the agricultural, the hospitality, the construction industries, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, and this is part of our myth busting mandate, right? We all have to be our own propagandists. We have to propagandize our folks. We have to propagandize our friends, family, colleagues. Well, maybe don't propagandize people at work. maybe you can propagandize people at work a little bit. America don't like kids. America don't look out for fucking kids. When has America looked out for kids? I'll wait. Because but for the labor movement, well, hold on, skirt. Let's back this thing all the way the fuck up. First of all, kids was chattel right? Kids was all the way property, especially black children, even indigenous children. We have, and as a nation, I hate to say we, I don't like to be speaking French when I'm talking about America, but with the nation, we we have kidnapped children, we have sold children, we have forced small children into work in the fields, into work in factories, into work in mines, into work in very dangerous, hazardous conditions. And maybe this is the history of the world. Maybe, in other societies, there are places that do care about the health and safety and welfare of children, but America is not one of those places. And historically, for the majority of this rotten colony's existence, kids have been made to do all kinds of fucked up shit, especially around work, right? And there had to been an actual movement. Like the child labor movement was wrapped up in that early, well, relatively early, let's say 20th century, late 19th century, early of 20th century workers' rights movements, because kids was getting fucked up on the job, right? They were taking advantage, especially depression era labor issues, right? Of kids who were orphaned, kids who were abandoned. They would just pick them kids up and set them kids right in the fucking field and set them out there all goddamn day, or set them into the coal mine, or just all kinds of excruciating conditions. So this is very much on par and on brand. This suggestion, this latest proposed bill in Florida. And when the reporter was running down all the states that have enacted these the lessening of child labor protections, to hear New Jersey perked my ears a little bit. I was like, God damn, really, Jersey? Really? Y'all in there with the likes of Iowa and Arkansas and now potentially Florida too. Jersey, what is happening? Donnie, what's going on in Jersey? They don't give a fuck about the kids in Jersey, huh? They're gonna let the kids work the blackjack tables at that fucking Atlantic City. But hold on. So I want to know how y'all feel about this. I can imagine how some of y'all might feel about this, because I know we have some parents in the building. But I was a laboring child in terms of being a teen. I think I have shared with y'all that, my father had better things to do with his time and his money, right? So, in my household, we did not receive child support. So I was on the grind. I was on my literal fucking job. Well, if we count, let's talk about off the books work first, right? Because girls are socialized to childcare and babysitting at young ages, right? Paid, right? So I was already babysitting for small children. I don't know, I was 11, 12, maybe not 11, more like probably like 12 or 13. I was doing childcare. I was watching people's kids, right? For money. But then when I was old enough to get on the books, I think was 14 or 15. And as soon as I was old enough to get a work permit, I was working. First job at Pizza Hut, after school and on the weekends. Second job at Chuck E. Cheese, after school and on the weekends. Now, let me tell y'all, in the 90s, me and one of my friends were having this conversation. Like, in the 90s, let me talk about how they didn't give a fuck about kids in the 90s. Like, now I don't think children can work past a certain time at night, past 10 or 11 or whatever, on school nights. Shit. Dog. I was routinely closing at Chuck E. fucking Cheese in Laurel. Like, I the Chuck E. Cheese closed at 9 or 10. It was at least another hour after close before you could leave, because you had to clean up. I would wake up, I would have to be at Chuck E. Cheese 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings to go open, because once I had moved up in the world, I was making like $6 whole an hour. I was the birthday party coordinator in high school. So I had to get there early on Saturday mornings to set up the birthday parties, right? But this notion that number one, that we prioritize children's well-being, that we prioritize children's education? Absolutely not. Children are a voiceless labor pool, right? Of which you can work them and exploit them, and generally kids won't complain. They won't say anything. In some instances, their parents won't even say anything. Well, I guess that's just what your boss wants you to do. Jesus Christ. Like, I just would like for us not to indoctrinate and socialize our children that they have to like listen to the boss all the time. Now, I maybe I might be alone in that perspective because I'm anti-authority generally, right? I'm fuck the police and fuck the boss all at the same time. So maybe don't listen to an insubordinate like me. But I don't think we should be like to the mother's point in the package. Like, yes, the kids have the rest of their actual natural lives to be working. There is no reason why kids should be or be even allowed to be to work 30 plus hours a week as students. If it's their education that we're prioritizing, then we need to do that. Now, I understand that some kids are going to work literally out of necessity, like they are there to help support the household. And I understand that. And that is another searing indictment on the status of our society, where teenagers are tasked to be the breadwinners, because in America and under capitalism, people don't get paid enough. I won't say they don't earn enough, because I really think people, earning and what you get paid to me are two different things, because you could work your ass off. You have earned a thriving wage, way more than a living wage. You have earned a thriving wage, but is that what you get paid? Nope. Is the wage that you've earned commiserate with the wage that you have been given? Absolutely not. So that continues to reflect poorly on how capitalism puts pressures even on kids in order to survive out here. But I don't think it's just some shit we should be feeding into, right? And the fact that it is the GOP, with the exception of New Jersey, the fact that it is the GOP leading these efforts should further crystallize the hypocrisy, particularly of those who claim to be conservative or who lean conservative and say that they care so much about kids. They don't want their kids exposed to the gay agenda. They don't want the white kids feeling bad and feeling guilty for being Caucasian because they learned about the real history of slavery. It's like, no, y'all really don't give a fuck about these kids. Because if it were up to you, you would set them out in the fast food drive-through line when they was 14 and let them work 40 hours a fucking week. Fuck school. And we know, because these kids is not getting a quality education anyway out here in public schools. Maybe that's why the GOP is like, well, fuck it. we have intentionally defunded schools. We have deprioritized the quality of schools, so we might as well put them out there. Maybe the GOP knows something that we don't. The xenophobia and the racism and the policies of exclusion and harassment and harm towards undocumented workers, maybe this is the plan, right? You want to make things so difficult for undocumented people, you don't want them around. So instead, we're going to be putting kids back in the fields. I guess American-born kids, right? But this is going to be very harmful for undocumented children as well, for migrant children as well. Because again, this is a population that is not going to complain. They are not going to complain about being overworked and working in poor conditions. They are going to be there to earn a wage in order to survive. Ergo, therefore, we need to get rid of this fucked up economic system that we find ourselves in, where the kids got to do that. It's good for your character, right? Get the fuck out of here. Yes. Listen, I don't know if I feel, am I a better person because I was working at 14, 15 years old? I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, retrospectively, I just realized how exploited I was. I still have a lot of my pay stubs from Chuck E. Cheese, for example, right? Y'all, I was making $5 25 cents an hour, which is absolutely abhorrent considering I was making $5.25 an hour in 1994, 1995. It is ginormous 2023, and the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour in 25 fucking years, 30 years, damn near. The fucking wage has only gone up $2 and some America is a joke. Please burn this place down as soon as possible. Even if it's the rowdy racist whites that burn America down. Like, I am rooting for America's downfall. That might be why I might be half-ass rooting for Trump. Not because I like Trump, not because I support Trump, because Trump is quite content to take this country down. If Trump's going down, America's going down, and I'm with that shit. You feel me? So anyway, couple of things I want to say before I get out of here. Thank you, ignomina. I can't pronounce your name. I cannot pronounce your screen name for shit. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being at BPM. I still cannot pronounce your screen name for shit. There's a couple things I want to say. Just a reminder. So if you are in the Atlanta area tomorrow is the big rally at Atlanta City Hall for Deacon Johnny Holloman. Please go to Black Power Media. If you did not see Kalonji Changa's interview on the morning show this week with Deacon Holloman's daughter, Anitra, and the family attorney, please go watch that. It is a very good interview. Kalonji's been killing it lately with the interviews, y'all. I mean, that is no shade, no bullshit at all. That is all props and respect to Kalonji. He's been doing an excellent job. And I told him that too. So yeah, go check out his interview, but also if you're in the Atlanta area, go there tomorrow, City Hall, for the rally to get the Atlanta police to release the body cam footage of when police officer, what was his name? Kyron Kimbrough, a young brother, 23-year-old cop, going to tase the 62-year-old elder to death, kill it with fucking fire. Atlanta police have not released this body cam video because I'm sure it looks absolutely terrible. I'm sure it is as horrific as any of us can imagine that it would be, but the family wants it released. So that is why the rally is happening tomorrow. Please go to check out Community Movement Builders and other organizations for specific details. I don't know what time, but I know it's happening tomorrow at Atlanta City Hall. The other thing I wanted to remind you guys, if you live in the state of Virginia, early voting has begun in Virginia. Every seat in the Virginia General Assembly, is that what it's called? The lower house, the lower chamber of the Virginia legislature, every single seat is up. Okay. Early voting has begun. Early voting, I believe, goes through November 4th. If you're not registered to vote in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you have until October 16th to get registered. As consequential, regardless of what I think about national electoral politics, local electoral politics are absolutely very important. Virginia has a staunchly conservative governor in Glenn Youngkin. He wants to roll back abortion care, abortion rights for people in the Commonwealth. And we cannot allow that to happen. And the way that you can stop that is to make sure that you vote for people who are supportive of reproductive justice and care. I believe the General Assembly was controlled by the Democrats and the Senate was controlled by Republicans, or I might have that reversed. But unfortunately, we have to vote Democrat in order to preserve abortion rights. So if you live in the Commonwealth or if you know people that live in the state of Virginia, please encourage they ask to go get registered to vote if they're not, and to please go fucking vote. Go fucking vote for all the local offices that they can, because this is all extremely important. And other thing I wanted to say was I wanted to shout out to New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez. Shout out to Bob Menendez. If you did not hear, the New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez got caught up on the federal charges, the bribery charges. He was indicted, he and his wife. The feds say that they ran up in Bob Menendez's house. They found $100,000 worth of gold bars. Shit. And they found $500,000 in cash. God damn. This nigga, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, Senator Menendez. Dog, if you're going to be stealing, do big stealing. Don't do no little fucking stealing. Do ginormous fucking stealing. And they need to go look at his mama's house. They need to go look in his under his auntie's, fold out couch. Cause that wasn't all that them motherfuckers was hustling and stealing. I'm sure they was stealing, doing ginormous stealing. That's the fuck I'm talking about. If you're gonna steal, you better steal like white people. Don't fuck around with it. A white Cuban, you better steal like the white Cuban you are, dog. You better do the ginormous stealing. So do all that big stealing. Hold on. People running us bucks. Look at this. I'm feeling special out here. Only you can make me happy. Happy. Ba-da-da-da, happy. Hold on. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. I love y'all to pieces. God damn it. I downloaded this stupid iOS update and it's trying to leave me alone. I don't care. No, I don't want to learn more. Leave me alone. You know how I'm getting old because I get grumpy with technology. I'm like, get the fuck out my face with these prompts and these questions. Do I want to set up Face ID? No, I don't. Do I want to set up Touch ID? Absolutely not. Apple does not need my goddamn fingerprints on file. What for? What's up, Infinite Content? Thank you so much for your super chat support. Infinite Content said, in related music news, Redman is doing a free show in Philly next Saturday. Redman's doing a free show in Philly next Saturday? Reggie Noble, my baby father of the babies I never had, him, and doing a free show? Saturday, you say, Infinite A. Infinite, send me a message or a tweet or something and tell me where that's going to be at. I remember I saw Red at a free show in Camden, dog. Red was performing in Camden and I went over there and I was high as hell. And I had just started my internship at the radio station. I had just started my internship at the radio station. I think I was out there with some of my Temple classmates. And we were stoned to the bone at the Free Redman show in Camden. And one of the dudes from the radio station, one of the older bruvs, I can't remember if it was Jati or, what was that dude's name? He passed away too. Don Juan. It might have been Don Juan Banks. Like, he was like, aren't you Kim? And I'm like, no. Because I was high as shit. And this is when, the olders would, the older niggas would, not older niggas per se, but like the elders would frown. Like, I saw her, she was high. I didn't want them to frown at me. So I said I wasn't who I was, which probably made me sound and look more high. KJ Sakuna, thank you so much for your super chat support. You said it's been too long that cops have been doing heinous things. You said my condolences. Oh, absolutely. My condolences to Deacon Holloman's family. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your super chat support, KJ Sakuna. Listen, this is what they have. This is their mandate. This is their raison d'etre. This is their whole reason to be, is to terrify and torture Black and brown people and the poor whites. And I want to have more compassion actually for the poor whites. I might try to find some more poor white police harassment stories because, it's the truth. Like the poor whites be out here catching it too. I just think that they don't catch it like Black people, but maybe I have that wrong. I don't think I have that wrong, but maybe I do. Maybe I do. Who just ran us some bucks? Nolly D, you didn't tell me Taya was in here. Taya and Steven. Well, I don't know if Stephen, but the Taya. Well, you see one, you see them both. Thank you so much, Taya Graham from the Police Accountability Report. I've been telling y'all, you guys need to go and support the Police Accountability Report. Go subscribe to the Police Accountability Report channel. It says, we appreciate you. No, Taya and Stephen, I appreciate you guys. You guys are amongst my favorites. I miss you guys. I haven't seen you guys in so long, but I love Taya and Stephen to pieces. To pieces. Love Tay and Steven to pieces. I mean, Tay is a real one out here. Steven Janice is a real one out here. Okay. You want to talk about no. What Steven Janice does is not allyship. That shit is camaraderie. Steven Janice has put up his white man privilege on my behalf on more than one occasion. I will never ever forget that shit, Steven Janice. I love you so much for that. And I love the shit out of Taya. Taya's just an amazing person. You know, just wonderful people. So thank you so much for y'all's support. Thank you guys. So on that note, I'm gonna call it a night. Everybody, please be safe and be careful wherever you are in the world, especially if you are in the path of this tropical storm. There could be some potential for flooding. I feel like the people on television, when I say, turn around, don't drown, that shit is real. People get swept away in flash floods all the time. Don't let it be you. Don't be silly out here. So let's try to be smart. And we will see you guys back here on Tuesday for more of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Please don't forget to subscribe to our good buddies and friends, Police Accountability Report, Black Power Media, Status Quo News, Kalechi Okafor, Revolutionary Blackout Network, like all the folks. Shout out to JB Font out here. Like, just subscribe to the folks and support all of our collective work out here, because we certainly appreciate all that you guys do. Wendy, thank you so much. Donnie, thank you. Who is that? Sith Lord, appreciate you being here. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Teresa, thank you so much for coming through. Shout out to CB. Thank you. Shout out to my sis Jess Tess. Shout out to Jazzy Pooh. I love y'all. Thank you all so much for your consistent and wonderful and amazing support. Holly Horn, thank you so much. Shout out to my bruv, Crip Hop Nation, Leroy Moore. Thank you so much, Leroy. Bardo, I see you out here. James is off tonight. Where James at? James must have had something to do. Thank you. Thank you. Camille, thank you. Nat A, love you. Thank you. Yes. I'm gonna turn y'all loose. Taya! Oh my goodness, Taya. Anyway, guys, on behalf of Will and Molly, thank you all so much for supporting the Burn It Down with Kim Brown platform. We will see y'all back here on Tuesday. Love you guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Have a good one, y'all.